many Japanese architectures use asymmetrical compositions, always trying to give balance using the distance between those elements. And this house has a center, very pronounced, the center. But when you look at the both sides, it is not symmetrical building.
After graduating from Tokyo University, FUMIHIHO Maki studied at Harvard, where he encountered the informal domestic manner developed by Walter Gropius and José Luis Sert. This approach is very evident in the design of his own house, a combination of traditional American vernacular elements with modern abstract forms. The house is in the center of Tokyo, where he grew up. Enlarging it and giving it depth.
Yes, that's right.
The other thing that intrigues me, and it relates to your experience in the United States, is that there seems to me that there is a very discrete quotation from American clapboard.
Clapboard, yes. That particular part of the wall was not concrete, made of just wooden panels. And I might have used that clapboard without too much consciousness.
Yes.
Since I studied under the José Luis Sert in the United States, I must say I have learned a great deal about the urban theory of Western world as well. And coming back to Tokyo, my practice was pretty much built on my experiences in the city of Tokyo. I believed in incremental development in the city. The act of making a building is also the act of place making. The spiral faces Aoyama Boulevard, one of the busiest and very fashionable streets in Tokyo. And the street scenes of Tokyo today, they are very fragmented. So I decided to use the spiral as a commentary of this fragmentation. And I used a number of familiar iconographic features of modern art and modern architecture as elements, then made up quite unfamiliar totality out of those familiar elements. This was a concept of spiral.
Can you explain to me the idea?
Yes. This is a complex of a building which has a number of functions, cafe, restaurants, exhibition space, but I wanted to combine all of them in a certain way so that people can appreciate those functions simultaneously. The whole space is for rent.
So even the gallery wall is rented?
Even the gallery walls are rented. They don't have their own collections. Here,
so,
yes.
What do you use the space for?
Oh, this is for performances and installations. While you are having coffee or tea, you could enjoy the street scenes. And we have daylight coming from the top. This place is a public space, and quite often people are just sitting on those chairs
looking at the street.
Outside. And those millions, the distance between millions have a geometrical progression. So it gives, again, a sense of a movement.
Of rising upwards.
Yes, rising up. So this building tries to develop the number of the scenes, succession or sequences of scenes. Yes.
So it culminates here in this sculpture?
Done by,
Aiko Miyawaki.
That's right, yes. Whenever I see so-called great movies, I remember some of those unforgettable scenes. And when I design the buildings, I want also to build a number of important sceneries around which I could construct the rest. And I find certain similarity between how the movie directors approach to his movies and architecture I approach. Fujisawa Gymnasium I built 3 years ago is sited at the fringe of one of the satellite cities of Tokyo, which is called Fujisawa. And it is in one of industrial development areas. The given context is close to near, or I would say very bleak. And in this case, instead of following the given context, I wanted to use the new gymnasium to be a base of developing the new context for that particular city. When you look at the old Japanese cities, the only monumental or public buildings are castles, temples, or shrines. And those buildings' existence are already pronounced through the great roofs over the houses. I wanted to make these roofs which convey the sense of publicness. And in order to achieve that, I used a number of curves to make those spaces in a manner quite close to our tradition. The forms are somewhat similar to a samurai helmet. Although I was not too conscious to follow that tradition, but at the end it came out as if they are reflection of those art forms.
The shell-like forms of the Fujisawa Gymnasium are covered with a 4mm thick skin of stainless steel. These wrinkle-free panels were specially developed by the manufacturer for this building. Through their evocation of medieval armor and space-age technology, Maki sees these dynamic metal forms as evoking both past and future culture.
Perhaps you can see how the steel frames and concrete elements are put together. And sometimes we make those connections in rather brutal ways. It's a crashes between the two. Fortunately, in Japan today, I observe we have both technology and surviving craftsmanship.
The Fujisawa complex consists of two separate primary volumes roofed with metallic shell-like structures and linked by a two-story entrance lobby feeding both gymnasiums. The large oyster-shaped volume accommodates the main multipurpose sports arena capable of seating 2,000. Its spectacular internal volume is spanned by 240-foot-long welded steel trusses. In addition to admitting light, these trusses also carry the shell roof, which spans between them and the outer perimeter of the concrete seating.
Some architects in Japan use Western ornaments in a very expressive way or in a latent way. I used some such ornaments. To me, a still more important element in architecture is details. And seems to be these good details give a pleasure to eyes, just as much as you get from ornamentation. So I try to stick to these modernist principles. And also, it is the only way you can convey the spirit of the material we use today, like steel, glass, concrete. Without the details, you cannot extract the energy which reside in those materials.